All right, let's talk about something that makes a lot of people nervous. Taxes. The word itself can sound complicated, maybe even a little scary. You hear stories about people getting audited, owing a ton of money, or just spending days buried in paperwork. But I'm here to tell you that for most people, especially if you're just starting out, doing your taxes is way easier than you think. In fact, with a little bit of preparation and the right tools, you can get this whole thing done faster than you can watch a couple of episodes of your favorite show. The goal here is to take the stress out of the equation and show you that you have this completely under control. The fear of the unknown is what gets most people. They imagine a giant, impossible form with a million boxes they don't understand. The truth is, modern tax software has made this process incredibly simple. It's like having a guide hold your hand the entire way, asking you easy questions one by one. You don't need to be a math genius or an accountant. All you need is your information, a little bit of time, and the willingness to just get it done. Think of it less like a final exam and more like filling out a simple online application. The system does all the heavy lifting and the complicated calculations for you. So, what are taxes? Let's smash this down to its simplest form. Taxes are basically money that we all contribute to the government. This includes the federal government and sometimes your state and local governments too. Think of it like a subscription fee for living in a functioning society. You pay your subscription, and in return, you get a whole bunch of services that you probably use every single day without even thinking about it. It's not just money disappearing into a black hole. It's the fuel that runs the country and your community. It's a collective pot that everyone chips into. So where does all this money actually go? It pays for a massive list of things. The roads and highways you drive on, taxes. The public schools that educate kids, taxes. The military that protects the country, police officers who keep your neighborhood safe, and firefighters who respond to emergencies, all paid for by taxes. It also funds things like public parks, libraries, scientific research through agencies like NASA, and social programs like Social Security and Medicare that help support the elderly and those in need. When you pay your taxes, you are directly investing in the infrastructure and services that make our society work. Why do you have to file a tax return every year? The government needs to figure out exactly how much you should be contributing. Throughout the year, if you have a job, your employer likely withholds or takes out a little bit of money from each paycheck for taxes. This is just an estimate. The annual tax return is where you settle up. You tell the government precisely how much money you made, and you figure out the exact amount of tax you owe. It's a way to make sure everyone pays their fair share based on their actual income for the entire year. Sometimes, the amount your employer withheld from your paychecks is more than what you actually owed. This is when you get a tax refund. Before you can even think about sitting down to do your taxes, you need to go on a little scavenger hunt for some documents. This is probably the most important step because having everything ready from the start makes the whole process smooth and fast. The first and most critical document for most people is your Form W-2. If you work a traditional job, your employer is required to send you one of these by the end of January. This form is a summary of how much money you earned from that job and how much tax was already taken out of your paychecks during the year. If you had more than one job, you'll get a separate W-2 from each employer. Next, you need to think about any other money you might have made. Did you do some freelance work or have a side hustle? If someone paid you more than $600 for your work as an independent contractor, they should send you a Form 1099 NEC. This form reports your non-employee compensation. Did you earn any interest from your savings account at the bank? The bank will send you a Form 1099 INT. Did you sell some stocks or cryptocurrency? Your brokerage will send you a Form 1099-B. There are many types of 1099 forms, so just gather up any that come in the mail or are available online. Beyond income forms, you'll need some personal information handy. First and foremost, you need your Social Security number or individual taxpayer identification number. You'll also need the Social Security numbers for your spouse and any dependents you plan to claim, like your children. Make sure you have your exact birth date and the birth dates of everyone else on your return. You will also need your current mailing address. It sounds basic, but having this information written down and ready to go saves you from having to dig through files while you're in the middle of the process. Finally, think about any potential deductions or credits you might be able to claim. These are the things that can lower your tax bill. Did you contribute to an IRA or a health savings account? You'll need the statements showing how much you put in. Did you pay interest on a student loan? Your loan provider will send you a Form 1098-E showing the amount you paid. Did you pay for college tuition? Look for a Form 1098-T from the school. Just gather anything that looks official and tax-related into one folder. It's better to have something you don't need than to need something you don't have. Okay, you've gathered all your documents into a neat little pile. Now it's time to actually start filing. For almost everyone, especially first-timers, the best way to do this is by using online tax software. There are many great options out there like TurboTax, H&R Block, or TaxAct. Even better, the IRS has a program called IRS Free File, where you can use brand name software for free if your income is below a certain amount. These programs are designed to be incredibly user-friendly. They ask you simple, plain English questions, and you just type in the answers. You don't need to know any complicated tax laws. The very first thing you'll do when you open the software is create an account and fill out your personal information. This is where that list you made earlier comes in handy. You'll enter your name, address, social security number, and birth date. The software will then ask you about your filing status. This is just a category that describes your family situation. The most common ones are single, married, filing jointly. If you're married and filing one return together, married filing separately, or head of household if you're unmarried and pay for more than half the upkeep of a home. The software will usually help you choose the right one. After you've entered your personal details, the software will ask if you have any dependents. A dependent is a qualifying person, usually a child or a relative, who relies on you for financial support. If you have kids, this is where you'll enter their names, birth dates, and social security numbers. Claiming dependents is a big deal because it can make you eligible for some very valuable tax credits, like the child tax credit, which can significantly reduce the amount of tax you owe or even increase your refund. The software will walk you through the rules to make sure the person you're claiming actually qualifies. The next major section will be all about your income. This is where you'll pull out that stack of W-2s and 1099s you collected. The tax software makes this part incredibly easy. It will show you a picture of a W-2 form and tell you which number from which box to type into its corresponding field. For example, it will say, enter the amount from box 1 of your W-2. You just look at your paper form, find box 1, and type that number in. You'll do this for every income form you have. It's really just a simple data entry task. So there you have it. We've walked through the entire process, from understanding what taxes are to gathering your documents, filing your return, and knowing what to do afterward. As you can see, it's not the scary, complicated monster it's often made out to be. For the vast majority of people, doing your taxes is a straightforward process of answering simple questions and plugging in numbers from forms you've been given. Modern tax software has truly revolutionized this task, turning what used to be hours of manual calculations into a simple, guided interview that you can complete in a very short amount of time. The key is preparation and mindset. By taking the time to gather all your W-2s, 1099s, and personal information beforehand, you eliminate most of the potential stress. And by approaching it with the mindset that this is just a manageable task, you take away its power to intimidate you. It's just one more part of being a financially responsible adult, like paying your bills or checking your bank account. It's a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier every time you do it. The confidence you gain from handling your own finances is priceless. Remember the key takeaways. Use online software, double-check your social security numbers, report all your income, and don't wait until the last minute. If you follow these simple rules, you'll be in great shape. You'll avoid the common mistakes, reduce your stress, and get your taxes filed correctly and on time. And if you're getting a refund, you'll get that money back in your pocket that much faster, where you can use it to pay down debt, save, or invest in your future. You are now equipped with the knowledge to conquer your taxes. You don't need to pay someone hundreds of dollars to do something that you are perfectly capable of doing yourself. Take control of your finances, embrace the process, and give yourself a pat on the back when you're done. You've earned it. Filing your taxes isn't just about sending money to the government. It's about taking an active role in your financial life and proving to yourself that you can handle your responsibilities with confidence and ease. Now go get it done.